sin again. Lord, forgive me. Lord, forgive me. Things I don't understand. Sometimes I need to be alone. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I can feel your energy from 2 planets away. I got my drink, I got my music, I'ma share it, but today I'm yelling, bitch, don't kill my vibe. 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 Look inside of my soul, to find gold and maybe get rich. Look inside of your soul and you can find out it never exists. I can feel the changes. I can feel a new life. I always knew life can be dangerous. I can say that I like the challenge and you tell me it's painless. You don't know what pain is. How can I paint this picture when the color blind is hanging with you? Fell on my face and I woke with a scar. Another mistake living deep in my heart. Buried on top of my sleeve in a flick. I can admit that it did look like yours. Why you resent every making of this? Tell me your purpose is petty again. But even a small lighter can burn a bridge. Even a small lighter can burn a bridge. I can feel the changes. I can feel the new people around me. Just wanna be famous. You can see that my city finally put me on stages. To me that's amazing. To you that's a quick check. With all this respect, let me say this. I am a sinner who's probably gonna sin again. Lord, forgive me. Lord, forgive me. Things I don't understand. Sometimes I need to be alone. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I can feel your energy from 2 planets away. I got my drink, I got my music, I will share it, but today I'm yelling. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. 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 I'm trying to keep it alive and not compromise the feeling we love. Trying to keep it deprived and only co-sign what radio does. And I'm looking right past you. We live in a world on 2 different axles. You live in a world, you're living behind the mirror. I know what you're scared of. Feeling to feel emotions inferior. Shit is vital. I know you had to. This shit is vital. I know you had to die in a pitiful vein. Tell me your watch and a chain. Explain more believable. Give me a feasible game. Rather a seasonal name. I let the people know this is something you can blame. On yourselves you can remain stuck in a box. I'ma break out and then hide every lie. I'ma break out and then hide every lie. Oh yeah, I see no changes. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I'm tired of being poor and even worse, I'm black. My stomach hurts, so I'm looking for purse to snatch. Cops give a damn about a Negro. Pull the trigger, kill a nigga, he's a hero. Give the crack to the kids, who the hell cares? One less hungry mouth on the welfare. First ship them dope and let them deal to brothers. Give them guns, step back, watch them kill each other. It's time to fight back, that's what Huey said. 2 shots in the dark, now Huey's dead. I got love for my brother, but we can never go nowhere unless we share with each other. We gotta start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother instead of 2 distant strangers. And that's how it's supposed to be. How can the devil take a brother if he's close to me? I'd love to go back to when we played as kids, but things change, and that's the way it is. Come on, come on. That's just the way it is. Changes, things will never be the same. That's just the way it is, the way it is. Oh yeah, yeah. Hear me? Oh my, come on, come on, come on. That's just the way it is, that's just the way it is, the way it is. Things will never be the same, never be the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And that's just the way it is, way it is. Oh yeah, yeah. I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. Misplaced hate makes disgrace to races. I wonder what it takes to make this one better place. Let's erase the waste, take the evil out the people. They'll be acting right, 'cause both black and white are smoking crack tonight. And the only time we chill is when we kill each other. Kill each other. It takes skill to be real, time to kill each other. And although it seems heaven sent, we ain't ready to see a black president. Oh, it ain't a secret, don't conceal the fact. The penitentiary's packed and it's filled with blacks. But some things will never change, never change. Trying to show another way, but you're staying in a dope game. Ooh, now tell me what's some mother to do. Being real don't appeal to the brother in you. Yeah, you gotta operate the easy way. I made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way. Selling crack to the kids, I gotta get paid. Well, hey, well that's the way it is. Come on, come on. That's just the way it is. Changes, things will never be the same. That's just the way it is, the way it is. Oh yeah, yeah. Hear me? Oh my, come on, come on, come on. That's just the way it is, just the way it is, the way it is. Things will never be the same, never be the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And that's just the way it is, way it is. Oh yeah, oh yeah. acting like Hitler. When I'm a fucking nigga, they telling me get off of Twitter. I voted for Trump, not Biden. Now some niggas that went to that island. Why the fuck would you go to that island? Went to the dentist to give me some nitrous. Went to the dentist and put in some diamonds. I did not ask for broke niggas to chime in. They just don't understand me. I'm that nigga that's gon' urinate on Grammys. Rockin' so I stickers cause all my niggas are Nazis. Reading my camp 2 chapters before I go to sleep. Hop in a Rari. She wanna hop in a Rari. She wanna hop in a Rari. She wanna hop in a Rari. I see that look in her eyes. She wanna hop in a ride. I said, are you ready to die? I said, are you ready to die? Bully. They telling me that I'm a bully. I'm anti-Semitic, fully. They saying I'm acting like Hitler. But how am I acting like Hitler? When I'm a fucking nigga. I see that look in her eyes. She wanna hop in a ride. I said, are you ready to die? I said, are you ready to die? They telling me that I'm a bully. I'm anti-Semitic, bully. They saying I'm acting like Hitler. But how am I acting like Hitler?
Ninguém me ama, ninguém me evita, mesma maneira que você. Minha vida inteira jamais procurarei alguém que ame o meu amar como você. Não tenho medo nem insegurança. O sol nascerá e tu virás. Tenho confiança na sua intentação, tão conectada como o tendão. Eu tenho confiança na sua intentação, tão conectada como o tendão. Acredito em você, sei que tu tenho confiança em você, sem dúvida tu virás. Sei que tu virás, sei que tu virás, sei que tu virás, sei que estaremos mais conectados dia a dia. Amor antigo, mesmo que eu tô jovem, mesmo quando estarei velha, sempre jovem a você.
Let's get ready to rumble!
In this moment,
Yes.
I cannot say what's wrong or right.
No.
It's not hard to fool me,
No.
'cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Yes.
Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say
No.
where we are heading now, babe. I follow. Nothing can stop me.
No.
'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now, before the moment flies.
Yo, we are back. We are back. We are back.
You want to come home with me tonight? It's been a while.
So what is it this time? You just want to be held, or you want the LD?
What you think it is? I want the LD, baby. And then I want to be held. That's all right with you?
You know me. It's my duty to please that booty.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Peace and blessings to all of the Black Bottom Rise cats. I'm your host, Ross Lee. I'm here to bring the real, have grown folks conversations, and do what we do. As is, how it is, how it is. A lot of shit going on out here in these streets. A lot of shit going on in these internet streets. A lot of things been going on in the world. It's so much shit going on. Energies is so crazy out here in the world right now. I don't know what to say. Please hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like button on the way in. Just like when you come in somebody's house, take your shoes off. And when you come into the Black Bottom Rodcast, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe if you are new. I had a couple of new subscribers, so shout out to the new subscribers as part of the Black Bottom Rodcast. I appreciate it. You know. And like, share the video. We are here on another Tuesday. Peace. Hope everything is good. I hope everyone had a great weekend this past weekend. Hope everyone has been safe, blessed, and I hope everyone is striving to be the best version of yourself. We got a lot to talk about. I'm not gonna be bouncing around with a whole lot of different clips, and I mean I am, but I'm gonna let these videos talk for themselves. But I will say this. We as a people, I'm very disappointed. We as a collective, I'm very disappointed. Some of us want to get out here and praise the people that are no longer living, regardless if you like them, regardless if you agreed with them, regardless if you had disagreements with them. I think the one thing that upsets me the most about us as people is that we try so hard to prove to someone else that we're right, and we truly missed the boat of whether all of us have a point. I understand that some people live a certain way. I understand that certain people do things out here in these streets. I understand we all have our wants, needs, understandings, want to be appreciated, want to be held to a certain esteem, certain level. I think the greatest demise of society is when you go out of your way to try to make another person look bad and not have an honest conversation. The worst way you can get someone to not fuck with you no more is to betray their trust. The worst way you can get someone to not deal with you no more is to hold hidden animosities. The worst thing we can do as a culture is think that you're better than someone else. That's the worst thing. A lot of us claim that we're Christians. A lot of us claim that we're Muslims. A lot of us claim that we're Judas. A lot of us claim that we're whatever. But if it's one thing that we all are supposed to adhere to, it's respect for one another. Like real talk. We got a lot to talk about tonight. So pull a chair. We fellowshipping. For those that's tuning in, great. If you're not tuning in for whatever reason, it is what it is. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not the enemy. If you don't like what I say, if you don't like what the points that I make, if you don't like the things that I'm trying to put across, you don't have to listen to this channel. No one's doing me a favor being here. It's a blessing that you are here if you're willing to really listen to the words, have adult conversations, and fellowship. I don't beg anyone to be here. I don't expect anyone to agree with everything that I say. I don't expect anyone to think that what I'm bringing to you is truly the gospel. The only thing that I expect for you to do, if you do listen to this platform, get the information, make your own critical and analytical analysis of it, research it yourself, build upon that, react to me, comment back, give me your pushback, give me your thoughts, give me your own reaction to what you feel. It's been a very interesting year on a lot of different fronts. It's been an interesting year Because the one thing that I've noticed out of everything that goes on in our everyday life, everyone's not going to agree. Everyone's not going to bow down to what you tell them. Everyone is not feeling or going to adhere to certain rhetoric that might not resonate in their own mind. Certain people are not going to totally come aboard with your shit, so to speak. I might, if you're more than willing to want to jump down, that's fine. I'm always willing to have an open discussion, but this ain't about me tonight. This show ain't about me. It's never really been about me. I'm just the person that bring this information out and to try to come to some kind of an understanding as far as what needs to be understood. What I will say is this, and I can attest to this in my own personal. Be careful what you do out here in these streets. Be careful what you say to people out here in these streets. We living in a world of technology. We're living in a world of cameras. We're living in a world where people like to spy on you, go behind your back, all these things, for whatever reasons. If it's one thing, that really upsets me, is that people take things at face value and not look at it as a whole. Yeah, the title's something else. I hope after tonight this becomes a classic. I hope after tonight that people really understand that there's something bigger out here that's going on other than you. Not saying that you personally is not worth anything. I'll be a fucking fool to say that no one out here is valuable. Everyone out here that's living and breathing is valuable in a sense, and in a place, and in a part of this whole society. Everyone has a piece of this puzzle. Everyone can fit in a slab of the pie that we call life. But don't think it's always about you. Don't think just because you have your own views and your own opinions and your own understanding that others don't have it as well. Don't think that because you learned so much and you done been through so much and you've experienced so much that others don't experience it. Everyone deals with their life, their trials and tribulations and their tragedies differently. Everyone does. What upset me last week, what really upset me, and I had to take my time with this. I had to take my time with this topic. I mean, I touched on it on Friday's live stream to a degree. Thank y'all for all y'all that tuned in. Shout out to the replay gang that gave me the views that y'all gave me. I don't know how hard it went in the algorithm as far as people listening, but I mean, for the most part, from what I saw, I got a decent amount of people that tuned in. You know, my numbers fluctuate depending on the night, depending on my title, depending on the show. Last couple of weeks, I was having a lot of technical difficulties with StreamYard. I'm dealing with the same shit Messy Michon dealt with. We all deal with StreamYard. I just found out that Street News TV does StreamYard, and a few others in the YouTube world. Excuse me. But it is what it is with that. Shit is fucked up out here to the point where people have no problem publicly celebrating someone that they don't like's demise. Y'all did it with Kevin Samuels. God rest his soul. Y'all did it with Sinful to P. God rest his soul. And y'all did it with Charlie Kirk. And it's like, okay. And let's be honest, me personally, I never followed Charlie Kirk up until just recently when I heard of his untimely passing. I've heard of him. What he was doing in his circle, in his time, and in his life had no bearing of what I had going on. Not saying I don't agree with his values or disagree with his views. Okay. One thing that I've learned in content creating, in being a man, and living this life, there are times where us as men have to make a stand. Us as men have to make decisions. And us as men have to move a certain way. And what I mean by that, we have to move in a way that's going to be beneficial for our progression. We have to move in a way that's going to be beneficial for our financial, and we have to be beneficial and understand the repercussions of our actions. Yeah, we as men, did I say that wrong? I'm sorry if I did, I apologize. I've been seeing a lot of shit come across my desk. I've been seeing things, that's been going on throughout these days, since Wednesday. I'm on a little break right now, from my everyday, which is much needed. I normally take this time off in November, but I really had to do it early. I deserve it. I deal with a lot. I try to do a lot. And I don't need any accolades for what I do. It's just what has to be done. Because if it don't get done, it won't get done. And if it's one thing that I've never done, okay. If I said it wrong, man, my apologies. I'm only human. I am not an English major, nor do I consider myself an oracle of words. I'm a wordsmith. I do say shit broken English. Man, look here. Wow, 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 all that shit. I'll say it. It is what it is. It's the Black Bottom Roscast. We ain't perfect around here. But I was very troubled from some of the things that I saw over this past week. I was very troubled with some of the shit that I saw. We are living in the last days. And it's as sad as it sounds, and it's as painful as it will come out my mouth. We are living in the last days because we are so desensitized of another person's demise. We don't care about what another person is dealing with or feeling or going through because we're so hell-bent on wanting them to understand what we feel as an individual. Look, I didn't ask to be put here on this plane. I wasn't asked to get birthed into this society. I didn't ask. Desensitized. Thank you. My English teacher. Desensitized. Right, exactly. That's exactly the word I was looking for. I didn't ask to get put here. I didn't ask to get dealt the cards that I was dealt with. I didn't ask to have to figure things out. Life. I didn't have a playbook. I don't have the cheat code. I don't have none of these things. You know, I don't have what the new generation have with these video games, and y'all got these cheat codes and these different shit that y'all can do to really master what the fuck you're doing out here. Life is hard to master. Life is hard to deal with. Life is hard to cope with. But if you make the necessary efforts to understand self, instead of worrying about what others think or expect from you, then everything else will fall into place. Hit the like button on the way in, y'all. I know some of y'all watch from the clouds. I know some of y'all watching from the bushes. Some of you motherfuckers is looking through the alley. I know there's some people out here that don't really rock with me that watches me. And it's cool. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for being a friend. Face ass. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. It shows me that obviously what I've been doing and how I've been doing it, because I've been seeing others over these few years trying to do this, and it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy every fucking week or every other day or every other, however many times you want to get on these platforms and to do what we do. It's not easy. It's hard, it's taxing. Sometimes it can be stressful. Sometimes it could be kind of, you know, overwhelming. But if nothing else, we want to try to be entertaining. We want to try to be informative. We want to try to be as real as we can without being censored. You know what I'm saying? We want to do that. There are so many people in this world that are so sensitive of words. I know back in the day they said, words hurt. You know, what's the saying? But I can't think of it word for word. Words hurt harder than a fist, and you know, and all these different, different analogies as far as what words do. No, people don't. People people don't like hearing truth as much as they don't like being or having a mirror placed in front of them to call out their own flaws. Everyone out here thinks they're perfect. I'm not perfect. My wife told me that the other day, and I told her, no, I'm not. I get why she said it, and I thought that was cute, but I'm not. I'm not perfect. I'm flawed just as like anybody else out here. I have things that go on in my world. You know, I have a past that a lot of people don't want to let go. There's some motherfuckers out here right now that hate to see me where I'm at right now. There's some people out here right now that hate to see me even crack a smile. They want me to be miserable. They want me to be downtrodden. They want me to be damn near on the edge of life. No, you don't have to. And I was getting ready to say that. You say I was perfect. You say you was perfect. I was perfect for you. And which that was sweet. I will say that. That was sweet. That was sweet. That was beautiful. That was kind. We ain't perfect. Because no matter what people think of us, you still got to look yourself in the mirror and figure out life every day. We don't have a playbook to this shit, y'all. We can sit here, we can sit here and live vicariously through other people's lives all you want. That's only going to get you so far. So please don't take what I said as an offense. I appreciate that. Now, I'm a what? I'm a boogie head. Okay. Um, it is what it is, man.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
But we living in crazy times, man. We living in crazy times. The things that I seen people do on the internet all weekend, all fucking weekend. I mean, all fucking weekend. Just shows me just how evil, how ill intent, how selfish, and how messed up people are out here. Like, real talk. A lot of people only think about themselves. I felt like I got tested this week on some things, but I'm going to let that go. But it's okay, though. I've been tested all my goddamn life. You know? I'm here to live about it and talk about it. And one day, we're going to react to it. But right now, we're going to react to the madness that was really going on with this whole Charlie Kirk thing. This whole madness is how people were just so in wanting to really show who they truly are, right? A lot of people are losing their jobs behind this shit that they were saying about this man. Like, real talk.
This is justice for Charlie Kirk.
All right, so that employee from Office Depot has been fired. If you're unaware of what I'm talking about, here's a video to catch you up to speed real quick.
For somebody that passed, it's not
It's propaganda. I'm sorry. We don't put that here.
Drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better.
Well, until recently, most college campuses were places that welcome such political leaders and commentators across the spectrum to spark civil discussion and debate on social and political issues.
MTSU Assistant Dean fired over Charlie Kirk's social media comments. Students react. Now, guys, it's still happening. Of course, people are still getting fired because this really hasn't played out fully. Yes, more people are still losing their jobs. And of course, guys, we have our main guy who I've been reacting to there in the middle when it comes to all these firing situations and people saying crazy, atrocious things online. Don't worry, I'm going to press play on that video next. Let's keep watching.
Civility, though, wasn't front and center on social media in the wake of the violence yesterday, with some reactions actually costing people their jobs, including Middle Tennessee State University's Assistant Dean of Students. Our Aaron Cantrell spent the day at his alma mater talking with students about that firing and the tragedy.
As one of Tennessee's largest universities, MTSU frequently welcomes guest speakers to campus.
Dr. Fauci should be in prison for what he did over the last year.
Having children is more important than having a good career. Sometimes controversial ones, like Charlie Kirk.
Even though he was very pro Second Amendment right, that doesn't mean he should have died at the hand of a gun.
They have to understand that this was a man with a family. There was more to him than just being a conservative.
For students here, his assassination was gut-wrenching to watch unfold.
There were so many people around it that had to witness that and had to, live with that now.
I'm very disgusted, disheartened.
At the same time, it's fueled even more debate.
I understand he was a big figure, but also have the same energy towards school shootings, I think.
MTSU President Sidney McPhee says differences of opinion and freedom of expression are encouraged among students. But for staff members, public employees, he says trust is essential. That's why McPhee says the university fired its assistant dean of students after she posted a Facebook comment many felt compromised her ability to remain fair and even-handed. These students say they still plan to speak their minds, hoping their voices can help shape a more respectful climate.
All right, guys, there's my famous sound effect there. It's back. Listen, seeing me react to the videos I've been reacting to, and I'm talking to the people who've been watching my channel for a while. There's a lot of long-time subscribers who've been watching my channel for a while. I'm sure you can tell because someone asked, hey man, I don't get why you're spending so much time on this. You would think that I'm one of Charlie Kirk's #1 fans, but as soon as you look at my past content, you would soon realize that, yes, I've reacted to some videos, but in no ways was I ever a super fan. In fact, this is the longest time I've ever spent on a topic this year. The truth is, I am disturbed. I'm disturbed that I have to, and I'm just being honest with you guys, as somebody who at this moment in my life would not call myself a Democrat or Republican, I am disturbed that I have to go on the rest of my life living my life. And that's really not a big deal because not much is going to change. It's the way I view people, right? I have to keep on doing what I do and going through life with the new awareness that there's a large group of people that exists that not only celebrates as if that's not bad enough, but also is actively calling for violence. I know this has happened to a small degree, radical people on either side, but in my lifetime, I've never personally seen it exist to this degree. And it's changed the way I look at things. It's like putting a pair of glasses on. It's changed the way I view teachers. Yes, it's definitely changed the way I look at the education system. As a father and as a husband, it has definitely made me lean more in my faith, but it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. More on that later. Let's go ahead and check out this video in the middle here. This is important.
This is Justice for Charlie Kirk, and this is my message to you. I came across this post from Charlie, and it gave me a moment of reflection, a moment that I had been avoiding. And if I'm being completely honest, from the very first video that I posted up until the one that I posted yesterday, I've been telling my wife I have this heaviness in my heart. And yesterday, I finally, right before bed, I finally confessed something to her that I had not said out loud. And I told her, why do I feel this way? Why is it that even after me trying to advocate for justice,
right,
for cruel individuals, that it's not that you can't have an opinion, but because there's got to be morals, there's got to be a right and wrong, there's got to be what you should do and what you shouldn't do.
Right.
And I told her, and I would think that after gaining the following that I've gained, after reaching so many millions of people, that I would feel accomplished.
Right.
And I would feel job well done. And I told her, I feel the opposite. I feel unaccomplished. I feel empty. I feel, I don't know. There's just this heaviness in my heart that I can't shake. And that's when I come across that post from Charlie, and it hits me. I have never advocated for violence. I have never advocated for death threats made at people. I've never advocated for that.
Right.
This heaviness in my heart made me reflect on something. And I asked myself this question, and that is what broke me. Would what I'm doing make Charlie proud? What we are doing make Charlie proud? And as much as I wanted to find a reason that he would applaud this, I couldn't find one. So for that reason, from this day forward, I'm going to be changing some tactics, going to be changing some ways as we continue to pursue justice.
And check this out. Shout out to this man right here that's doing what he's doing on the side of morality. You people out here be so quick to laugh at another person's downfall to the point where you post it on social media with the energy and the veracity of a son of a bitch, of a non-caring. How would y'all feel? All these people that's out here, right, laughing at this man's demise. How would y'all feel if that was your father, if that was your brother, if that was your husband, if that was your son? How would y'all feel about that? To see other people out here laughing about it, making memes about it, doing songs about it. I mean, how would y'all literally feel The one thing I can say, even though it was sad that it happened, I know a lot of people said, well, you know, when Charlie Kirk had his situation happen, that, you know, his family was there. No, his family wasn't there. His wife was there. But by the grace of the Most High, his children wasn't there. They were asking after the fact where their daddy was. And that had hit me home. That hit home with me. Because I got children. My children ask about me every day if they don't see me at a certain time. If they don't see me at our place. If they don't see me where they know they will see me. They're going to ask questions. Where's daddy? How hard do y'all think that was, that his wife had to explain to their children about where their father was? How hard do you think that was? I want y'all to put yourselves in that position right now. What would y'all do in that situation if it was you? How would y'all handle that?
For the voice that was silenced, I just ask you, with all of my heart, for those of you that have taken what I have posted, what I have researched, you've taken it to the extreme. I have said multiple times in my videos that I do not advocate for violence.
Let me explain to you guys why it's important. And by the way, I have to give him props. It's not easy to get on camera and say, hey, you know what? This direction we're going, okay, things might be getting out of hand. Let me tell you why I believe he's doing this, because I've actually seen this. What's happening is that people online now, this is a trend that's very popular, by the way. Let's say I create this video and I publish it. Some people do what's called commentary reaction type of content. That's pretty much the type of content I've done for the past 5 years. And I'll have some instances where I'll just share my thoughts and they won't be a video I'm reacting to and giving my commentary to, right? Some people recently, though, are taking videos like this. So like his video here, changing the background and chopping up that video to either dramatize. I don't know if that's a word. It's probably a word. Or they will actually take out disclaimers, right? So in all his videos, he would say, you know, we're not for violence. I'm not for violence, blah, 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 blah. They just take that out. And now people who may be for that, or people who are listening to him saying, hey, are you calling for these people to get hurt? They may misunderstand what exactly is being said. And I know there are people out here who are thinking to themselves, well, if there are people out there calling for violence and they think words mean violence and they want more of that, then they have to be stopped and so on and so forth. To that, I assure you that the people out here who are calling for this and are literally unhinged are their own worst enemy. Engaged or soon.
What's good, Big Mike? I say we got a lot to talk about. Come on in. You hit the Black Bottom Roscast. Hit the like button on the way in. Like I always say, get you some water. Eat you some fruit. Roll you a blunt. Have you a beer. Get you a cocktail. Like my man Big Mike always say, get you some juice. But leave these pills alone because them mugs will kill you. All right, let's keep going with the reaction. Let's go.
Soon to be married men, getting a prenup doesn't have to be confusing. At fathershaverights.com, we break everything down in plain, simple English so you feel in control from day one. Here's one of our 5-star reviews from Logan. I didn't know much about prenups before, but the way everything was explained made it easy to understand. It didn't feel overwhelming or super legal heavy. It was just real advice that actually made sense. I feel way more secure because I can't, when I tell you guys I'm disturbed, and I've been disturbed for the past, this isn't my regular content. I've pretty much focused on this. Regularly, I'm talking about dating and relationships and marriage from a male perspective, men who value more traditional values, helping men avoid feminist women who are probably liberal, yes, will probably cheer to this as well, helping men protect themselves when it comes to marriage legally, agreement, contract, unfortunately with states that don't have your best interest in mind, and profit from failed marriages, so on and so forth, discouraging broken homes, encouraging present fathers, strong fathers within the homes. But yeah, I definitely get where he's coming from here. I've seen people who are misusing his content without the proper disclaimers. And in the end, after God has given you the strength to forgive and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting paid for the showing his commercials, so I had to cut that short. I'm sorry, y'all. I got back to it late. Sorry about that. This is a commercial-free live stream, if y'all didn't know, because I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I ain't got no fancy car. Don't own a large house. I ain't got no money, Jack. So, you know, it is what it is with that. But I'm sorry, I didn't cut it off short. But yeah, we all know prenups ain't just for men. You know, we know all that. You know, most men don't care about y'all money. Y'all can take that shit. Because we don't want to hear y'all mouth. Y'all don't take our money too. You know, only weak motherfuckers want to take y'all money like that. We want to keep our own shit. Just if the shit don't work out. Just know that. Real men don't want your shit. I understand.
And not hold that anger within you. Then the scripture says that vengeance is the Lord's, right? So this was eye-opening to me as well. Let's keep listening.
And I do not advocate for people receiving threats at their lives. That is not the message that I teach to you. That's not the message that I talk to you about. That has never been my intention, because then we fall into the category of the people that we are advocating against. And that's not what I want to be a part of. We will still be advocating for justice, but we will be using different measures. And for all of you that have shown your support, I am extremely grateful. And we will continue to advocate for Charlie's voice, but we will be doing this in a whole different way. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your guys' engagement, but it will be from this moment forward more in direct alignment with what Charlie Kirk would do.
Again, guys, I know, because I'm going to get a lot of people going to ask me, where can we find him? Where I've been able to find him is TikTok. Right here is his handle. I have not found a YouTube channel. I have not.
Man, look, Cardi B X don't need her money. I would hope not. I would hope Offset got enough going on, or what he already had going on, you know, to not need it. Now, could I say that about ASAP Rocky? I mean, ASAP Rocky's doing his own thing too. But what ASAP Rocky, well, they ain't got no prenup. They ain't married. So, I mean, it is what it is with that. They just having babies. So, if like they broke up and ASAP Rocky wanted some fucking money, you know, out of Rihanna, yeah, he'll get that shit. Or he might be found, you know, missing somewhere. Depends on, you know, what we talking about. But that's another story for another time. So let's just get on with the reaction.
Not found a YouTube. Hey, babe. All right, 1 second, guys. I just got interrupted. My wife just asked me to open a very tight container for her here. This is why I need a man in your life. This is why I need a real man in your life. Yes. There you go. Oh, man. Yeah, guys, I'm back to my original setup, back to the sounds. The coffee pot is back in full swing. But yes, go check them out. Show them some support. I also heard that they are people who are like deleting accounts of people who are speaking out, you know, against people's reactions, so on and so forth. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Let's read a few of these comments, see what the people have to say. Top comment here says, I went to church today for the first time in years. Wow. Wow. There's a lot of this too. A lot of this too. Amen. Shout out to that. Here's somebody else who says, Romans 12:19, do not take vengeance, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written. You know, I like that, leave room. You know, they're like, hey, you did something there, but leave some room for God. He's going to leave some room for God. Went on to say, to avenge, I will repay, saith the Lord. Proverbs 20:22. Do not say, I'll pay you back for this wrong. Wait for the Lord, and he will avenge you. Matthew 5:38-39. You have heard that it was said, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's Jesus himself. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other side also. There's another person who says, I cried for 2 days. I've never cried that long. It hurts and still does. Another person who says, we can forgive, but justice still needs to.
I mean, think about this for a second, y'all. I don't know how many people saw that actual footage. I was hurt by that. I mean, you have so much to say about what? What do you want to say? All right. Let's see. Hold on for a second. You want to get on the podcast, then there you go. That's the link. I was hurt behind that, man. Yeah, that's a hard thing to have to do as a mother, to have to explain to your oldest child why daddy's not coming home anymore. To see what I saw physically with my own eyes last Wednesday, and to see how people reacted to it that didn't like him for whatever reason was demonic. It was hideous. It was pathetic. All right. Hold on. Here we go. Add this. Hold on. What up this dude? Where you at? Let me see something. Oh, there you go. What's going on, wifey?
Hello, dear.
What do you have to say? Welcome to the podcast, the Black Bottom Podcast. Hey, y'all. This is my wifey getting and keeping the ring with Tiffany Hall. What damn? Wait a minute, you just Tiffany Hall now? Oh, you took the Lee off your shit? Oh shit, I'm fucking mad.
Whatever. The only reason I did that is so somebody else could find me. It'll be changed back within the next 48 hours.
All right, well, we're talking on this right now. I'm on a little leave, so I can kind of extend this live a little longer than what I normally do on Tuesday. So what you got to say about all this?
Well, the hardest thing in the world to explain. It's hard to explain to a 10-year-old why being morally upright and righteous and being able to defend your stance, why it's dangerous and why it could get you killed. I'm sorry, delete it.
No, it is what it is. We ain't monetized. You can say what you want here.
You know, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. My prayers and condolences go out to his beautiful wife and his children. But this is a rough thing to explain, especially being on the conservative end. You know, being a Christian in real life. We teach our children certain things. I teach my children that everybody is entitled to an opinion. And opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. Charlie Kirk could defend his stance, and every argument he had, he used, or debate rather, he used his debating opponent, their own talking points to show the failure in their argument. No one deserves to die for that. And the hardest thing in the world as a mother, as a black mother, trying to teach our little girls the importance of having your own opinion, but being able to defend your stance. Hardest thing in the world is to explain why did this man get killed?
Right. Before we go any further, do you have a platform on YouTube that you want to tell the Black Bottom Broadcast to come check out?
What you talking about, my platform?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for shouting me out. My YouTube name is Getting and Keeping the Ring with Tiffany Hall. It'll be back Lee in 2 days. Let me fix some things. My platform is the basis of what it takes to be a good traditional wife, how to explain things and teach things, maybe possibly to your children. I know I explain a lot of things in regards to how mommy does things. And just the joys and the actual easiness of being a traditional wife while still working, while living in today's society. Don't tell me, ladies, it's not possible, because it definitely is. I work and I still make sure that I have all of the traditional things done and the traditional values. And don't get me wrong, my husband is awesome. Y'all ain't just watching him, he is awesome in real life. But it is very possible to be a traditional wife still, work a job, especially with the way technology is. And I just go over some things. There'll be some recipes uploaded, some videos and how to do certain things, and just how to shut up. I don't know how to say it any other way. And listen more than you talk.
All right.
Check me out.
All right, that's cool. Shout out to Getting and Keeping the Ring with Tiffany Hall. Even though I see you got Lee on your moniker on your YouTube, so I ain't too mad at you. So I ain't gonna trip on that.
You ain't mad at me at all.
Dogs get mad. I'm not gonna get mad. But check her out. Tell her the Black Bottom Broadcast sent you over there. And hey, for those that want to tune into her, come on over here and subscribe to the Black Bottom Broadcast. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe bell on the way in.
Hit that bell. Hit the like button, hit the bell, build the community, y'all.
Yeah, because motherfucker.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, let's hit that shit. But anyway, you got anything else more to say before we get on with the show?
No, I'll sit there and I'll type my responses. Go ahead, get back to your topic and get back on subject.
All right, no doubt. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to wifey for coming on board. You know, some platforms don't like for their significant others to get on, but you know, that doesn't bother me. It is what it is. Like I say, you know, we're living in interesting and tough times out here. And we've been out and about for quite some years, well over a decade, out in the streets, and not just out in the streets, but just out in the community, you know, trying to really do things. We was in certain circles. I mean, she's still somewhat affiliated. I got the fuck up out of it because it just is what it is with that. And you know, there's nothing else that needs to be said. So, you know, even though I know there's some people that still be watching, trying to see if I got anything more to say, because I had a lot to say about a year or two ago about it, but I have nothing more else to say. But I knew y'all were going to be where y'all at right now because of how y'all move out here. So, if you know, in order to be better, you got to do better. But anyway, let's get with the content.
needs to be done, and the enemy should not go without justice. Here's how I see this whole thing. I think I would encourage everybody to, instead of focusing outwardly, spend some time focusing on your own personal life. This is my personal opinion. I am realizing that most people think this whole situation, everything that's happened so far, is not a big deal, right? They do not understand the gravity of the situation. And I can't change how other people feel about this whole situation. It is what it is. At the end of the day, the question I have is, how did you get to the point where you're celebrating this, okay with this, and calling for violence? This would be wrong on either end. How do I not become that is the question I have for myself. Is a question I think a lot of people need to ask themselves. How do I not fully become just filled with complete disdain to the point where I'm wishing death on other people? And yes, how can I learn to forgive? Justice, either way, will come through, and different people are convicted differently. You know, there are people who believe, hey, I'm shining a light on what's evil. You may disagree with them. The good news is you don't think they should die.
All right. And with that being said, let's go this. Let's go this route. Okay. What we're gonna do right now is this. Since so many people wanted to like shit on Charlie Kirk, that probably didn't hear a lot of his content. We're gonna react to some of his debates, just so we can get some content behind it, and then we're gonna have some discussions behind that as well. And I want y'all to really give me your honest opinion about it. All right. So this is some of his debates that he did at one college not too long ago. It was just past spring. Got the actual school. I'm quite sure they probably gonna say it on the actual live on this reaction. But let's see just how racist and how fucked up he was. Now, what I really want everyone to do when listening to these debates, I want you to really have an open mind and have a critical and analytical analysis as far as what he's talking about. Okay, so let's go.
Oh, you think I have racist views? Name one thing I've ever said that's racist.
You said
one
can I
thing.
be a black person?
Yes, as a joke, because I don't believe anyone should joke around with that.
Don't joke about no shit like that.
Why?
Never.
Why? I don't believe people should joke about being something that they're not.
Don't make a spectacle out of it. If you're here to do a job and be professional, do that on every scale.
But you said I have racist views. How dare you say something like that?
Because of the comment that you made about 5 minutes ago.
How is that a racist view?
And I'm going to the president because it made me feel some type of way. How about that?
Wait, do you need a safe space? Did I trigger you?
You asked the institution if I need a safe space.
Wait, so you're going to the president for what reason?
I'm going to the president because of what you said.
What did I say?
Can I be a black person? And
Yes,
when he didn't have an answer for that,
in a sequence of questions where I said identity should not be
it
fluid.
doesn't matter. And now it's going to be a sequence of mother complaints when I go to the president.
Oh, yeah. Go, be my guest.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back into a new video. Today, we're going to check out Charlie Kirk destroys race-baiting students with facts and logic. There's part 3. This is going to be amazing. I call him Charlie Kick because he loves kicking us. Let's get right to today's video, guys.
That's a racist. Okay.
No, you're the racist. You're that says that abortion lowers crime rates and blacks have the most abortions in the country. Yes. It's not name calling. Wait, is it not Black Lives Matter or is it African American Lives Matter? Both. Oh, really? Okay, I thought it was BLM, so I say blacks. Okay.
He was just okay, not too much, Andrew. Do you believe that you have some sort of privilege that skews your view on other people's lives? Because personally, I don't believe you could step in my shoes as a black woman and relate and understand the things. So I feel like it's not fair for you to choose what I get to do with my life because I'm a black woman in a white society.
What does being black have to do with truth?
Because there are different things that we experience,
Like what?
and my truth might not be what
What, you get into college easier than I do?
What?
Yes, you get jobs and internships that white kids don't get.
Oh, poor white people.
You have entire movements dedicated to your race.
We're so like, okay.
Sir, you remember those movements are to get right. You're crazy. Okay, so
do you not believe in racism?
Of course racism exists. The Democrat Party is still alive and well.
Do you think people are racist against white people?
Did you hear what he said? He said, of course, racism still exists. The Democratic Party is alive and well. No history, y'all. As much as y'all want to praise the liberal left and the Democratic Party, just know something about history, Black people. The Democratic Party was the party that really wanted to keep Africans enslaved. Okay. The Democratic Party was all for keeping slavery a thing. The Democratic Party was the majority of the Southerners in the South and in the Confederacy that wanted to keep slavery a thing. You know what helped get slavery abolished? You know what party fought, even though they did it for their own personal reasons? I will say that. But you know what party advocated to abolish slavery? The Republicans. I know y'all don't want to hear that because of how y'all think the Republicans are and stuff like that. I know some of y'all, that's in the Democratic Party don't like to hear the fact that, there are conservatives out here in the world that believe in family, believe in having a man and a woman home, that believe in that there's a man and a woman that should take care of children and live a life and raise their children to be strong, men and women as they get older and not get all involved in all the psycho, babble that goes on out here in the world and all of the what's the word I'm looking for? All of the carnage that happens in the world as far as how lifestyles is lived. I know, they don't believe in whole culture. They don't believe in nigger culture. They don't believe in gangster culture. They don't believe in, all that bullshit. They believed, in Christ and, in the Most High and, have some kind of foundation and some kind of structure and family and, values and, things like that. I understand that a lot of leftist people don't have those same views. What really lets me know that as far as a lot of you guys that got these bull rings, in y'all noses and shit like that, looking like, the son of Sam. I'm just keeping 100. But let's see just how racist Charlie Kirk was in his debates.
Affirmative action is racism against white people. Yes.
And Asians as well.
And Asians, that's right.
So I do have a question in that sense. If affirmative action is racism, why are most colleges predominantly white?
Why are they most predominantly white?
Why are most colleges, public colleges, are predominantly white?
We're a majority white country. You realize that, right? So colleges.
And just to expand on her statement, because she said why a lot of colleges here in the United States are white, because the majority in this country is Caucasians, correct? But then let's flip it. I want everyone to go on Google right now that's watching and Google who has the most college universities in the continent of Africa and post it in the chat. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see how much y'all engage with what I'm saying right now and in the platform. I want everyone right now to Google or go Chat GPT, whatever the fuck it is, and ask what is the percentage of black colleges opposed to Caucasian colleges in the continent of Africa? And then we can go. It's funny. People say you should be truthful, but people don't like hearing the truth. No, not at all. Truth hurts. The truth hurts, y'all. Truth hurts, especially if it reflects your shortcomings. The truth don't hurt if it don't affect you. But the truth hurts when it reflects your shortcomings. So like I said, there's a lot of white colleges. Majority of the colleges in this country is white, correct? We know that. But let's flip it. Let's go to Africa. Who can post how many colleges and universities are African opposed to Caucasian ran? And then we can go there.
Are the depiction of the nation.
Okay.
And actually, blacks on campus are disproportionate more than their population in certain areas, in certain campuses than their population because of affirmative action.
In HBCUs? Is that
Certain campuses.
Are you talking about HBCUs?
So, but let me just ask a more broad philosophical question. Why does skin color matter at all? Why should we care about it?
Because of the society we live in.
Wait, hold on. But no,
You're dismissing anything that has ever happened to someone of
let me
color
ask
by
you a
saying
question.
that.
What can you do, or what can I do that you can't do? What law?
Explain how
Affirmative action is lowering of test standards and quota for a quota. No, it's not. It's the way it works. It's the way it works. I'm not going to entertain fallacies. Tell me why.
Just let him
Why?
talk. We have to hear your fallacies.
Why does skin color matter?
I believe skin color matters because of the society.
He's not
we
being
are
respectful.
in.
Do you know how
And I
this
guess it
works?
goes
It's called
into critical race theory.
Yes, it is.
Because of the society we have lived
I'll do it
in,
too.
race is a factor. If from the beginning of time race wasn't a factor, and there was never anybody who was oppressed because of their race, I feel like it would not play a part in anything that we do. But because literally less.
Oh, it's just Charlie.
They were interrupting you. I was.
Do you believe in black on black crime?
Do I believe in black on black crime? Yeah, it's abundant.
Explain.
Yeah, it's the number one cause of death in many black communities. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like,
True.
Okay. So do you? So back to our previous argument that was interrupted. So in the sense of what, like I was saying, you don't believe like because of the history and because races have been oppressed, you don't believe like race plays a part in things, and you don't believe like.
no, that's not true. No. So you know, do you know who Thomas Sowell is? You know who Thomas Sowell is?
Yeah.
I really encourage you to look. Thomas Sowell's great. He's one of the best black economists of the 20th century. Grew up in Harlem, and he's done the best research in the 1940s, 1950s, and 60s in black communities. And essentially, his argument is that Black America was experiencing a renaissance in the 50s and 60s, despite discrimination. Yes. Now, the one part that I would agree with.
But however, it's not the black community as a whole; it's Harlem black community.
There were Chicago too, but let's pretend you're right. Okay. The one argument that I would agree with, and I'm against systemic racism arguments. The one that I would say, you know what, there was something very wrong is when Democrat Lyndon Baines Johnson came in and destroyed the black nuclear family. If there was one part where I could say, you know what, that was unjust and that has to be undone, it's when Lyndon Baines Johnson went in to the Great Society program with the intent.
All right. Hey. Look it up, brothers and sisters. Lyndon B. Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson, the one that had his hands allegedly in the deletion and the murder of John F. Kennedy. That was the vice president. He was a part of the Great Society program in 1965. And some of you people out here don't know what the Great Society program was. Kevin Samuels spoke upon it in his time, God rest his soul. That was the program to break and destroy the black nuclear family. Because before 1965, the marriage rate in the black community was at 80%. Look it up. You don't believe me? Look it up. If Charlie Kirk was so racist, why would he bring that up? Why, if Charlie Kirk was so racist, why would he bring up Thomas Sowell, who was a black man back in the 40s that did research about the very plight of the black people in this country? Why would he do that? Does David Duke do that? Does the Grand Wizard today of the Ku Klux Klan give you this kind of information? I'm just asking y'all a question. Did Obama give you this knowledge? Obama said one time in this campaign, and I think it was back in probably 2012, about bringing fathers back into black communities and black households. And it hasn't been said since in the liberal and on the left side and in the Democratic side. The Great Society program definitions, yes. The Great Society programs definitions and LBG history. Look it up. Since y'all want to say that this man was so fucking racist, he gave you fucking references to go and look. And he's talking to college students. So if anybody he was supposed to give this information to would have been the up and coming progressive college students, correct? The ones with all the vigor, with all the energy, with all this open mindedness of wanting to soak up as much knowledge and community and all this. Trust me, if you ever been on a campus college, if you ever went to college, if you ever was in that circle, it's a motherfucker. Shout out to all those that's actually been to college, had the college campus experience. I know I did. I didn't take advantage of it as much as I should have, but hey, at least I experienced it. I'll never forget it. And I experienced other college campuses and things like that. So it is what it is with that, you know. Yeah, but look up the Great Society program that was helped by Lyndon Baines Johnson. And now you understand why we're at the plight that we are, especially in the black community.
Intent to destroy the black nuclear family.
Okay. Sure. So in that sense, do you believe the war on drugs also played a part? Or
Not
do you not
really.
believe in the war on drugs?
Well, look, I mean, I believe we should be very harsh on drugs, but I think I would give some merit to the argument of some government agencies peddling cocaine in the inner city. There is evidence to show that. I'm not going to debate it. Do I think it has so for example, like there's one number that I'm fascinated with, right? Single motherhood in the black community was about 28% in 1945. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now it's around 65 to 70%. Why? Are we more racist than we were in 1945?
No.
Okay. No. So then what happened?
The war on drugs.
Okay, fair enough.
The war on drugs. The demolishing the nuclear family in a sense.
Right.
And I believe due to the history that's happened, racism is still very prevalent in a lot of this a lot of the systems that are in America, correct?
Yeah. So no, of course not. But I was actually caught by your shirt. You know, Malcolm X was super pro-life.
Yes.
I think Malcolm X could teach a lot of the black movement something, because it more so than Martin Luther King, because Malcolm X.
Whoa. Wait a minute. I thought y'all said Charlie Kirk was racist. I was just saying this shit to my wife last week and how this shit went down. I said last week how they did this man was exactly how they did fucking Malcolm X. And was Malcolm X labeled as a person that preached hate? Was Malcolm X a person that so-called preached violence? And look what he's doing right now. He's telling people to look at the teachings of Malcolm X. Ain't that about a bitch?
I'm getting there. Malcolm X, some people don't describe him correctly as being violent, right? That was a very small part of his literature. He was very big on trying to get Black America to succeed despite the white liberal.
Yes.
And
Not the white liberal.
he did say white liberal. Oh, you go look up the Malcolm X white liberal quote. And so I think that's interesting. Just think about it. Go look up Malcolm X warned against white liberals owning Black America for their own gain, which is exactly what BLM is.
Okay, so back to my initial point. Back to my initial point. You don't believe that my truth can be different than yours, specifically based on race.
Experiences can be different, but there is always a truth. I'll give you an example. We all might have 5 different opinions of a car crash, right? But eventually a truth will be revealed of what really happened. Does that make sense?
So you believe that your truth is the truth that you have found yourself is the ultimate truth.
I would hope so. Yeah. And I'm willing to learn.
And then make America great again.
Otherwise, I mean, and I think Malcolm X can teach us a lot right now.
So check this out, y'all. I know this is painful. I know this is kind of hard because your grandmamas and them, your uncles and them, growing up, told you motherfuckers to always vote Democrat no matter what. No matter what. Because Lyndon B. Johnson so-called wrote in that civil rights bill when Martin was still alive. Not telling y'all he was really writing the faith of destroying our communities with government assistance, with public housing, with Section 8. None of that. Y'all didn't read the fine print.
I want to hear his views on his racist views. I want to hear.
Oh, you think I have racist views?
I do.
Name one thing I've ever said that's racist.
You said
one
can I
thing.
be a black person?
Yes, as a joke, because I don't believe anyone should joke around with that.
Don't joke about no shit like that.
Why?
Ever.
Why? I don't believe people should joke about being something that they're not.
Don't make a spectacle out of it. If you're here to do a job and be professional, do.
Man, why Beetlebug out here with this short ass hairstyle out here being all overly aggressive? Why is it that so many ladies that got these short ass hairstyles be overly aggressive? You know, I just got to ask that question. They really study the reasoning for each of the 5 points and how it's destroyed society. Yeah, they really need to read up the Great Society program. Look, okay, we not talking about you, girl. I'm talking about this little bug head ass girl right here. But anyway.
Do that on every scale.
But you said I have racist views. How dare you say something like that?
Because of the comment that you made about 5 minutes ago.
How is that a racist view?
And I'm going to the president because it made me feel some type of way. How about that?
Wait, do you need a safe space? Did I trigger you?
You asked the institution if I need a safe space.
Wait, so you're going to the president for what reason?
I'm going to the president because of what you said.
What did I say?
Cannot be a black person. And
Yes, in a sequence of questions where I said identity should not be fluid.
It doesn't matter. Now it's going to be a sequence of mother complaints when I go to the president.
Oh, yeah. Go. Be my guest.
Come on, little Trump. Let's go, little Trump. Let's get it.
So
let's go, little Trump. Let's go to the president's office together.
Let me ask you a question. Wait, are you happy that under President Trump, black unemployment's the lowest it's ever been? Are you happy that black unemployment's the lowest it's ever been?
That's what I'm saying. That's on my way.
Organization.
Don't give that attention.
You mean the organization that's on 1,300 college and high school campuses?
He's not listening.
Absolutely. I just want you to.
You just give it in. You sound like the anger. You coming at me. You sound like him. You let him get
Like, how is America racist?
All right. Are you familiar at all with the concept of structural racism?
Yeah, it's a myth.
No, it's
So,
not.
so tell me why it's true.
Okay, so
not outcomes. Tell me why it's true.
So the textbook that you hearken back to in the 1950s, right? I found one of those in Virginia. It was
I
in
saw the tweet. Yeah,
publication
I
from
saw.
5. Yeah, and so when we think about like how do you design curriculum that's historically accurate that doesn't talk about oppression? That doesn't talk about one group being oppressed over the other, right? And so when you look at that Virginia textbook, I certainly don't argue that that's what we're looking at heading back towards. But my guess is if you were to try to write a curriculum that covers, slavery in the U.S. or the, Holocaust or whatever, and not, give the narrative that this group did this horrible thing to the other group, you're going to have to rely on some pretty.
But it wasn't groups, though. That's incorrect. Not every white person was a slave owner.
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter though, because
9 out of 13 states abolished slavery by the time of constitutional ratification.
I mean,
it's not like every white person was supportive. In fact, we had abolitionists at the time of the founding.
Exactly.
So why would you say one group?
Well, I mean, it's not. You don't have to have every white person.
No, in fact,
if you really, really, really look into history, there were some white people that risked their lives to help in the fight, in the struggle to abolish slavery at that time. They thought it was distasteful. They thought it was barbaric. They thought it was unnecessary. They didn't go with the narrative of the powers to be to allow that to happen. There were a lot of white men and women that lost their lives in the struggle too. These are things that they don't really show and teach children in school, these things. Because if you really know the truth, it ain't about the race, it's about the economic power that comes from having slavery. All these blacks talk about how whites did this to us in slavery, this did that, and the third. Guess what? Our own people, our own ancestors that had certain agendas sold our ancestors into slavery. What are you going to say about them? I just want to know. I mean, let's think about it for a second. Ain't nobody coming to a whole nother country and continent that got their own shit. And y'all gonna take them people without something.
Majority of white people found slavery to be reprehensible at the founding.
I don't know that if we would have pulled segregation
we did actually
in the 50s, we would have found that.
Let's start with slavery. 9 out of 13 states abolished slavery by the time of constitutional ratification.
Yeah, then why did the South secede?
Well, they seceded post-cotton gin for economic reasons. We went to war over it, though. To say that America,
you guys, the South declared war because they expected Lincoln to ban slavery.
And he ended up doing it.
Well, not for a long time. You know why? Because he wanted the fight to be about national unity, which is a good way to, I think, come wrapping around, right? National unity. So like, the first few years of the Civil War, he did not expressly say this war is about ending slavery.
He got to it.
And he later got to that because the South was more passionate and the North needed
No, I know, but let's
right?
go. I mean, but you said something I want to focus on though. One group doing something to the other. Like that's just not true, right? It would be a small group of white people that exploited incorrectly a group of black people.
The crowds that would show up for the lynchings, according to research that I've read, numbered in like 5,000, and they would mail. They would take pieces.
Why was slavery being abolished?
Pieces of like these people's bodies
I'm not supporting
that.
That,
right?
That's a
but like that is not a small.
That's
not a small group of people. That's not an isolated event.
But, I mean, in certain states,
a massive
it was widespread.
Systemic problem. Right?
9 states abolished it. Thomas Jefferson wrote in the original draft of the Declaration to King George, admonishing him for bringing slavery. The first ever anti-slavery convention was in Philadelphia, chaired by Benjamin Franklin in 1775. Thomas Jefferson got rid of the importation of new slaves
I
in
understand.
1807. Guess what? None of that stuff's taught in our schools right now.
But don't you think that like there's a reason that a lot of the Black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because like black men are more likely to be in prison.
Oh yeah. So why do people go to prison?
For like a lot of the time, it's because they're in poverty and they have no other way to get.
Okay, so they commit crimes.
Because
Yeah, but so
Like-
wait. So wait.
why do they
So wait, if you're
commit
so
crimes?
in poverty, we should give excuses for committing crimes.
Yes, because if they have
Like murder.
I did not say murder. I said like. I'm saying like if someone is stealing something because they have no money and there's no
That's so
jobs.
interesting. So you think most crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I'm not saying most.
So like gangbanging is like a crime of necessity.
That I literally never said that. I'm saying
But
like
you're making an argument of crimes of necessity. Like they're so hungry they can't handle it.
I'm talking about like crime that has to do with like getting food, getting stuff that you need to live.
Right, but we have food stamps for anyone that needs it. So that doesn't exist. We have subsidized housing for anyone that needs it. So that doesn't exist. We have free healthcare for any poor person that wants it, called Medicaid. That doesn't exist. We also have welfare cash for anyone that wants it. So that doesn't exist. So what is it they're missing that they need to go? Sorry about that.
Well, the food, like a lot of food stamps might not cover all of what they need, and also housing is like there's not unlimited housing. A lot of people who are unhoused have to like go to shelters and then they get kicked out.
I just gotta say this, y'all. When when people coming on the mic to do debates, please, I really beg you to have your thoughts together, know what the subject matter is about, and come better prepared. The one thing and the last thing that we really want to see is someone stuttering and stammering at the goddamn mic, trying to make a point, but only making themselves look even more foolish. This girl's making herself look foolish. And I'm not saying that she's not a smart girl, because this is a college student right here. But if you're going to sit here and debate with another person about a subject matter, come better prepared. These are not the crimes gangbangers are committing. No, they're not. What about food pantries? Exactly. He just stated it.
Kicked out of shelters because there's a mandatory stay limit. So it's not like you
but
just get
it's not
a house.
It's not a stuff thing though, right? It's like if you need stuff, there's also tons of charities out there that can provide assistance. Churches, you will not go hungry in this country. You will not starve in this country.
Yes, you will. There's
no, we have an obesity problem.
Street?
Yeah, we have an obesity problem, not a starvation problem in this country.
What are you talking
in
about?
State Street, if any one of those people went to the local Episcopalian church or Methodist church, they will get fed.
True.
I guarantee it. If they go to a local food shelter, they will get fed.
But I'm talking housing.
For housing. If we have Section 8 subsidized housing in this country, right? If you want to have a roof over your head, you can have a roof over your head.
With like thousands of rules, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, if you stay in a shelter, yeah, it does lead to housing. But guess what you got to do, y'all? You got to follow their fucking rules. You can't just be a fucking punk bum fuck off the street thinking you're gonna go in the shelter and do and move how you want to move. You got to play the game. Just like how you got to do when you work a job and they got rules and regulations, and you got to be there on time. You got to be there, when the time it starts, the time it leave, the days and times that they schedule you, you have to fucking follow rules. I've heard so many stories about people that have been in shelters and got kicked out because they didn't want to follow their simple guidelines. They wanted to go up in this motherfucker and think they living at the crib. Entitlement is a motherfucker, y'all. Entitlement and lack of a wherewithal and lack of a serious need. They felt entitled of being in these places. They didn't feel that it was a necessity. They didn't feel that it was urgency. They felt that they was meant to be there. They supposed to be there. So you're supposed to help them. Man, hit the like button on the way in, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
Of course, yes. I mean, it's not ideal, but the point is this. So let's just go back to the crime and necessity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do people commit crimes?
I'm not saying why all people commit crimes. I'm saying there are people who commit crimes because they have no other choice.
Got it. So why is it that other people that are as poor as they are in separate racial groups don't commit crimes at the same rates? For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit over 50% of the crimes. Why is that?
Black people, I would say, not blacks.
Okay,
but,
it's not. I could say whites, and you wouldn't care.
So
anyway,
hold
on. I right? I could say Hispanics, you wouldn't care. So don't police my language.
But whatever. I'm not policing your language. I'm just saying I would say black
Fair
people.
enough. But the insinuation is that I'm being racist. But that's fine.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yeah, but so Black Americans are 13% of the population and commit anywhere between 50 to 56% of murders, crimes, carjackings. Why is that?
Well, what percentage of the white population is living in the same level of poverty?
Got it. So there's twice as many white Americans in poverty as Black Americans. Not the same percentage, but still, if you look at white Americans in poverty, they commit far less crimes than Black Americans in poverty. Why is that?
Maybe it's because when you're in a store, like they follow Black people and they don't follow white people.
What about murder?
That is an excuse.
Rural.
No, but why is it that, like, just saying murder? Why is it that Black people commit so many more murders? Like, that's not, you're being followed in a store and you commit more murders?
Yeah.
You're making the rule, or I'll get to you in a sec, but
okay.
It's not a good argument. But let me just go back to one thing you said. Systemic racism, right? So the idea of systemic is that it's within our laws. There are some Black Americans here listening. What can you as a white American do that the Black American cannot do?
Nothing.
Let's see. I could go into a store and not get followed. The police could not track me down on, like, when I'm driving. I'm less likely to get shot and killed while I'm driving. There's a lot of things that I can do.
Okay, so just be clear. So if you walk into a local CVS here, how would you guys be treated differently?
Well, they would probably say hello, and they would probably just walk, let me in and not follow me. And then.
So these are a lot of probablys. I don't believe you, but I'm talking about laws, right? So what in the legal code of America can you as a white individual do that the Black individual can't? Because systemic means it's in our code, right? It's for example, like Jim Crow, totally get it. That's systemic racism. What is systemically your advantage?
Maybe housing codes, because I know redlining isn't a thing anymore, but there is isn't there people who are white are more likely to be given loans because of they have less I don't know, that's just it's back from redlining. It's a lot of the same stuff.
So I don't buy into any of that. So I just kind of go.
You don't buy into redlining, or you don't buy
into redlining. I don't buy any of that stuff that happens today. In fact, it's the opposite. Loans are now given favorably to Black Americans in certain cities over white Americans.
Okay, but you think redlining?
I believe I know redlining existed. I don't debate that. Of course it happened. But because of DEI and because of affirmative action, there's actually a preference given. But so let's go back to fathers, right?
Okay, let's go back to fathers.
So something happened to Black America since 1965. So in 1965, so.
You mean the war on drugs?
Right. Well, so if that's your contention, that's fine. So in order to go to jail for the war on drugs, you have to be dealing drugs, right? Or you have to be caught with drugs. So if you don't
which is one of the main jobs that you can have in a poverty stricken, if there's no jobs, you're going to do drugs. I mean, you're going to trade drugs because that's the only option you have.
It's such a difference in worldview. You're making excuses for criminals.
Yeah.
And what an insult to poor immigrants that came to this country that didn't commit crimes and worked 2 or 3 jobs and worked themselves out of poverty and didn't decide to go deal coke.
Well, my father is a white immigrant from Poland, and he committed crimes, and he's fine now. So
did he go to jail?
Yeah, he did.
I thought there was systemic racism. I thought that doesn't happen very much.
I never said white people don't go to jail. I said they go more, and you're saying that white immigrants are fine and they don't.
No, that's far less actually. I'm glad he went to jail if he committed a crime. I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
So, but at the core of it, we have a difference in worldview, right? My worldview is I'm not sympathetic to people that steal, that loot, and murder, because that's a values problem. And I don't like making excuses for people that do things that are obviously destructive. Secondly, we have a problem in Black America. The biggest problem is not racism. It's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish. And you know who agreed with me? Barack Obama. Barack Obama used to make this a central piece of his campaign. He came to this campus back in 2012, drew 100,000 person crowd, and talked about how we need to rebuild the Black family and put dads back. Why doesn't the Democrat Party talk about that anymore?
I'm fine with having
No,
fathers.
no,
I'm not against having black dads.
For sure. I'm saying, but don't we agree? Has anyone heard that mentioned on the national scale in the last 10 years? Yeah, I mean, we've heard about
Probably
like,
not.
yeah, and
Because
why
there's
is that?
bigger issues.
No, there isn't. See, that's the issue. Is that this is what makes us different. As a conservative, I focus on.
And what's so crazy about what you said, 41.6% of the poverty population is whites as of 2020, according to the census. Poverty rates for blacks and Hispanics reached lows in 2019, but it's not projected as such. It's not the narrative. Media, big time media, is not promoting it. 17.9% poverty population is black. It's low, but when you look at the fact that it's only 13% of us in this country, that's still kind of fucked up. I mean, 13%, of the population and 17% of us in poverty, that's still kind of a big number when you look at it in raw numbers wise. But that's what's promoted. It's us that's struggling the most, which in actuality, it's really not. There are a lot of blacks out here striving and doing things, middle and upper class and greater. But the disparity is we as a collective don't put our resources together as a collective. That's why it's all over the place. That's why invest with each other. We do not do business with each other. We do not construct or produce productive communities with each other. Well, yeah, when you look at it from the white perspective of their larger number opposed to the blacks, that's the smaller number, it's almost the same. It's just they're doing it at a high level with more people. We're doing it at a higher level with less people. So it's kind of like a catch-22 with us. You think I'm misunderstanding? Okay, well, hold on. Well, you said that the whites, white population is huge amount, but doesn't commit. Oh, no. I know about the crime. We're committing much more crime in society because of the lack of. So I truly understand. No, I came in late to the conversation, but I kind of understood where they was going with the conversation. They're basically talking about the crime rate and why is this low number of the population of blacks committing 50+% of the crimes. Look at the percentage of the structure of the household. It's a known fact that single family ran black households commit more crime, less likely to have good grades in school, more likely to do drugs. I mean, all the bad narratives of what society can bring. A lot of our people do. Hell, they praise it in their music. Our music, so-called. I mean, I'm black, so I guess I'm supposed to, be a part of it. But, we praise those things. The lack of, we glorify it. Okay.
On if you have family breakdown, don't worry about climate change. Don't worry about systemic racism. All that stuff is like these crazy abstractions.
What do you think create family problems? Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have broken families.
Okay, so but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? They're not staying with the women they're impregnating. So, for example, there 13% of the population is black. Not every single person ends up in jail, obviously, And yet there's huge child abandonment because there's a cultural expectation that is different in Black America than in white America, which is it's okay to impregnate a woman and abandon her in Black America. It's not
based on what? What is that based on?
That's a good question. Where does it come from? It's just based on.
No, I'm saying, what is that, like, your view of Black America?
Well, it's not a view. It's true. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at Thomas Sowell and Shelby Steele that have done amazing analysis on this. It's that in Black culture, that is not considered to be a stigma. In white upper middle class culture, for those of you that grew up in Waukesha or Libertyville or grew up in Hinsdale or grew up in Naperville, you guys all know those neighborhoods. If you impregnate a girl, a woman, and you just like abandon her, that's frowned upon. That is a social stigma in upper middle class white culture.
And it's not in Black culture?
No. In fact, it's glorified by the rap culture.
Hi, y'all. So before I ask my question, I want to clarify a point that y'all mentioned earlier. You said you don't believe in white privilege, correct?
Yeah, it's a myth. It doesn't exist.
Okay. So according to the Bureau of Prison Statistics from last month, 38.3% of our current inmate population is Black. But according to the 2020 census data, only 12.2% of our national population is Black. So if you don't believe in white privilege, how do you explain this disparity?
So why are they in jail?
It has been this way for years, since the 90s.
No,
Since
why do people go to jail?
Why are Black people in jail at higher rates than white people?
That's the question, right? Maybe because they
Yes.
commit more crimes than white people.
Sure.
But that's not true.
That's true.
It actually is.
They do. So every independent analysis shows that.
And just to go back on what we were talking about earlier about the 17.9% poverty population in Blacks, I have to correct myself. That's out of the 13% of the population, which would actually talk about 100% of the Blacks in this country. So the 17.9% poverty rate in our communities is actually relatively lower than what whites are. So I had to correct myself, and I had to correct what I was saying earlier. So if I said something wrong, hey, I apologize. I am prone to make mistakes. I am not perfect. I keep telling y'all. We're here to learn. We're here to learn. And if we're going to give information out, we all need to have a critical and analytical analysis of what we're talking about. So if I'm going to give information and we're going to do these reactions, I got to know what I'm talking about too. But the sad thing about that 17.9% in the Black community is so projected more than any other race out here in this country. And that's the problem. And we have a lot to thank for that. Regular media, big media, like the NBCs, the ABCs, shit like that, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the big power networks. They promote it and shoot that propaganda out as if we're doing so much bad. And it could be a lot worse, but it's not as bad as the numbers. But we could still do better. That's all I'm saying. So I had to correct that. So my apologies.
It's that Blacks have committed a disproportionate amount of crime. No one wants to say it out loud, but it's true. In fact, in New York, 52% of murders are committed by Blacks, 40+% of arson, 60+% of drug deals. And so the question you should really be asking is what drives them to commit crimes? That's the question, right? The real question is, and maybe I can ask you, what percentage of Blacks are raised with two parents in the home?
So actually, according to the Uniform Crime Report for 2019, Black or African American individuals committed only about 1 million crimes, while white people committed about 4 million crimes.
But that's
hold on.
proportion.
Yeah, how about the proportion?
There's a lot more white people than Black people in the United States.
It's a 60% white country and a
14%.
14% Black country. So you just proved my point. You literally, so basically that's a disproportionate amount of crime. It is.
But listen, I want to say, look, you are coming up here and you're asking a question, and that's not easy to do, first and foremost, no matter what. And I really appreciate your question in front of all these people. It's hard. So thank you for asking your question. But let me point out what you just did, and you didn't know that you did it. You switched from proportion to raw numbers. And you did that to make a point that you thought you were making, but you weren't. But look, your issue was that Black Americans only make up 13% of the population, and yet they make up, I think you said, like 38% of the prison population. And then you switch to raw numbers because so Black people only make up 13% of the population, but they commit 40% of all homicides and 60% of all violent crime. Unfortunately, I don't think that's anything inherent in Black Americans. That's not what I'm saying. That's just the fact. And what Charlie is saying is, look, we've got to look at why that is. So you're claiming that that disparity is inherent proof of discrimination. So would you also say the fact that there are fewer Asians in jail means that than white people, that there is discrimination against white people? No. Disparity isn't proof of discrimination is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So let me just throw, and Allie's exactly right. What percentage of Blacks grow up with two parents in the home?
I don't know.
Yeah, less than 20%. That's why there's so many Blacks committing crimes and they're in jail. It's that simple. The death of the Black family is why Blacks are in jail higher than their population percentage. It's that simple.
May I see your criminology degree? Do
You don't need a degree.
I'm sorry.
No,
Wait.
we've gotta. Are you a
We gotta argue
biologist?
from an
Ketanji
expert
Brown
thing.
Jackson.
So, no, let me ask you a question. So do I need a criminology degree to be able to understand that 75% of Blacks don't grow up with two parents?
To be well versed in it, I believe so.
Do you have one?
I don't, but I'm studying it.
Okay,
right
but
now.
you
Oh, she studied it.
But you did the same thing. You looked at a statistic, and he did the same thing. You
Look,
don't have a criminology
Have you
degree,
even taken a
neither does
criminology
he.
course? Have y'all
Hold on
taken
a second. You're doing an argument from authority, okay?
It's a fallacy.
So the laws of physics don't change whether or not you're a physicist, okay? The law of thermodynamics doesn't change whether or not you take a course on it. Answer the question. Why do Blacks have a broken family versus a nuclear family, and does that translate to higher rates of crime? Do you admit that?
Why is it that Blacks don't have parents, though? Why?
Good question. We subsidize single motherhood in this country through the federal government of the United States. Great question. Now we're getting somewhere. Back in the 1960s, we put forward a program where Black women married the government and broke up with the men they were with. Welfare state, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and that has contributed to Blacks committing more crimes.
I believe institutionalized racism is your answer, but I don't believe I'm getting anywhere with y'all.
But no, just let me point something out. Did you know that it's not white Americans that have the lowest incarceration rate or the lowest rates of crime or the highest graduation rates or the highest median income? It's not white Americans. It's Asian Americans. They have the highest median income. They have the highest graduation rates.
Sure.
They have the most degrees. They have the lowest incarceration rates. And guess what? They also have the lowest single parenthood rates. Okay? So that is true across.
So just to debunk a lot of you Black independent women out here that got all these degrees that prance around on all these different platforms talking about how y'all the most educated. No, you're not. You're the most enrolled. Now we can look at raw numbers to prove that. But you're not the most educated. The higher educated woman demographic in this country, alongside of the highest demographic of education in this country, is Asians. They're Asians. You know how some of y'all, that shit on passport bros, that want to go out to the Philippines and like Colombia and Thailand and all this other stuff to find themselves, fit, feminine, and friendly women. I just saw a video earlier from a brother that does content. His channel is More to Life. He lives in the Philippines, and there was another content creator that he was reacting to called Two Coconuts, and he talks to a lot of the Filipino women out there, interviews them out there on the street. One, they're very easy to approach, they're very friendly to talk to, and they don't be doing all this shit that the Western women out here do. Out of a lot of the women that the Two Coconuts podcast was talking to, a lot of those women, I mean, well, 100% of them was all in college. At least 90% of them was in some kind of medical or technical field. But y'all say that them women are stupid, they're slow, they're uneducated, whatever. But a lot of them is in fields that's going to make them a lot of money. So stop giving y'all so-called narratives of people in other countries that y'all don't know nothing about. I just had to put that out there. That was just my little quick rant.
Across the board. It's not just Black Americans. And unless you're willing to say that the reason why Asian Americans make more than white Americans, or the reason why Asian Americans go to jail less than white Americans is because there is systemic institutional racism against white people in this country, then your argument against Black people doesn't really work.
So let me ask you one thing. You said institutional racism. I got a Black friend right up here. He's great. He's great. So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. What can I do that he can't do?
What do you mean?
If institutional racism was real, what can I do that he can't do?
Well, you're less likely to get arrested.
I'm sorry. No, if we both commit a crime, he's going to get arrested and I'm not?
You could.
Wait, so we just went through this. Blacks commit a disproportionate amount of crime in this country because of broken families. So give me one law on the books. You said it's institutional. Give me a law anywhere that discriminates against Blacks. Give me one law anywhere in America.
You want current or past?
How about right now?
Well, the fact that crack cocaine is criminalized more than regular cocaine.
No. If I deal crack cocaine, I'm getting arrested regardless of skin color. Give me a law.
White cocaine, you would.
Give me a law anywhere that allows white people to commit crimes and get away with it and Blacks can't. Does that law exist?
Not anymore. But
because there's no institutional racism in America. The idea of institutional racism is laws on the books.
Just because it's not down on paper doesn't mean it's not real.
Okay, give us an example. Not just a disparity. Not just a
God?
disparity.
God isn't, you don't see God.
He's on paper. Read the Bible.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm getting nowhere with y'all, and y'all are not answering my question, so I'm going to end this Q&A right here. Thank you for your time.
We actually did answer her questions, but I do appreciate,
Oh, she got mad. You see how she stormed off? You see how certain people that want to have discussions and debates, when they don't get, I guess, the reaction or the answers that they're looking for or the agreements of what they're saying, how they storm off. You see how like a child that she removed herself from the conversation because she was losing the battle. She was losing the conversation. Everything that she was putting out there, this man was debunking it. But yet and still, y'all said that he was racist. And I'm trying to figure out where was he racist at? Is it because yo, what's up, brother? Shout out, Brother Johnson. Was it because he was holding people accountable for their shortcomings? Is that the reason why a lot of Blacks and other people in other circles, as far as in the liberal, circle, was hating him because he was holding up a subjective, accountable mirror to y'all face and y'all couldn't stand it? Everyone else can point out what everyone else is doing out here, but can't nobody point out their own shortcomings. What's going on? Hit the like button on the way in, y'all. Let's keep going.
even though she's got an attitude, I do appreciate her courage. I do. That is difficult. That's difficult to come up here and ask a question, but you can also do it respectfully.
But what bothered me about her, I'm glad she was there. She wasn't being honest. At least be honest, okay? And be willing to be corrected. Well, that was a fun fireworks show to end our time together, right?
Saying this right now, I feel like A lot of America like gaslighting the truth. A lot of people like gaslighting the truth. You are saying the truth, but you just want to hide it. Starting from the first people who came.
All right, I'm not about to go into this commentary because you know how I feel about some Africans and how they fucking be talking they language be kind of like throw me off. Anyway, but that was just a little, you know, whatever as far as what everyone was saying. You know, Charlie Kirk was such a racist. He was such a white supremacist. He was such a, you know, a Atzi. He was such, you know, Hitler. He was such all these things. He brought some very good points, and he also gave reference to a person who I actually compared him to, and he actually gave reference to him, and that was Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? She's chilling. She's in the cut. You know what I'm saying? You know. So and I said this last week. I was talking to her about it, and I was like, man, they did this man like how they did Malcolm, like to the T. This man wasn't even on stage no more than 10 minutes before they had to get rid of this man. And we're supposed to believe that this guy, this 22-year-old who they caught, you know, is the one. It's some other things that's behind it. There's other platforms that's been kind of conspiracy theorying the situation. You know, the two security guards, you know, allegedly were doing hand signals and stuff before the actual shooting, stuff like that. There's a lot, you know, that's going on. There's a lot behind that. But, you know, y'all talking about how so many black people hated this man, right? But there are a lot of blacks that actually have respect for this man. So we're gonna do some reactions to that. We're showing the balance of this. We saw some of the people that was hating on him, not to the extent, but I got some videos for that. But these are some brothers and sisters that's gonna give their reasons for why they had respect for this man. And God rest to him, and God bless his family.
Be a different type of sick to be celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, bro. That's crazy to me. Like, you don't gotta agree with anything bro say. I made a video about not agreeing with what he said on Juneteenth. That don't mean I think he deserved to lose his life though. Every page that's posting Charlie Kirk's death is flooded with comments celebrating it. It's flooded with comments saying, I'm going to the store. Y'all need something. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, the world we live in right now is just, it's different. I don't, like, I just never seen death be praised. Everybody be so desensitized to stuff like that. Like, just because you don't agree with somebody does not mean that this person deserves to lose their life. That makes no sense at all. You don't have to agree with anybody, but he was still a great father. He was still a great individual. He just had different views, different political views. That's sick,
What's going on YouTube? Busy Boy Wrong back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So, this Charlie Kirk situation has gotten very, I'm gonna say messy. I'm gonna choose that word. Reason being is because, you know, all of a sudden there's all these random ass allegations, and one of the ones that is standing out the most, and I think maybe it's just due to the fact that I'm a black person, but the number of black people that are saying that he was racist. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, this is like Donald Trump all over again. First of all, let's start with the fact that Candace Owens herself did a whole tribute to Charlie Kirk and mentioned how they came up as activists together and they've been longtime friends. So I would imagine that just that friendship in itself would be like, okay, how can he be racist? But then I happened to come across this clip that I'm going to share with you guys, and this is when I knew for sure, along with a few debates that I seen him have with black people myself that I'm going to mention later on once I give my commentary. That also proves that him being racist is a bunch of bullshit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm really getting sick and tired of black people acting like anybody that doesn't agree with something that we say is racist. It's like it's like the dumbest logic ever. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Charlie Kirk sent me a direct message, and I'm going to show you what it said. This is almost 6 years ago exactly now, as of this video. I had not spoken to him in person or on social media. He started the conversation. You know what he said? 3 words. You are terrific. Now, bear in mind, this is back before I was blessed with the followership I have now. I had fewer than 10,000 followers on Instagram, very small Facebook presence, wasn't even on TikTok at the time. The fact of the matter is, this young man, this leader of Turning Point USA, reached out to me and saw something I had done. And he felt so moved that he reached out to me himself to encourage me. And then he went a step further. He invited me to the BLS, which is the Black Leadership Summit Turning Point USA was putting on in Washington, D.C. I told him transparently, I was in between jobs and didn't have the money to fund my trip. He told me that they had scholarships available and to email him directly and he'd be able to take care of it. I did, and that's the story of how I got to be a part of the Young Black Leadership Summit, which was instrumental in springboarding me to where I am today. Now, I share that story because he didn't have to do that. And if he was a racist person, why would he do that? I'm so tired of people being besmirched by the tired liberal lie that anyone they don't like has to be some sort of racist. And I'm not immune to this. They call me racist myself. Of course, it's ridiculous on its face, but this is the nonsensical nature of your average leftist. They really want you to believe deep down Charlie Kirk hated all black people. He saw the best in everyone. He saw in me something I didn't even quite see in myself at the time, and he chose to encourage me. That is why I will literally and metaphorically pick up that mic and continue the work that he started, because I myself and many others are tired of being slandered and maligned by individuals who have nothing to sell us but fear, panic, and lies 24/7. I had to share that story with you. I thought about keeping that to myself, but the more I see him being typecast as some sort of evil person, the more I cannot be silent, and I hope that you will not be silent as well. It is time for action like never before. It is time for voices to rise like never before, and I hope you will join me in that effort. So that is the real Charlie.
Yo, so check this out. Let me ask y'all a serious question. If Charlie Kirk was so racist, why would he do that? Why would he constantly, as a lot of his debates, he always shout out a brother, always shout out a black person, always give them much respect, whether it's conversation or just shouting them out because they had some kind of connection with each other through either his organization, and whatever organization these brothers and sisters was in. Does David Duke do this kind of shit? Does the Grand Wizard of the Klan give accommodations to blacks, for the betterment of, helping the cause? Do some of these Habibs do this for the community? Do Slow-Mo and them do that for the community? Tell me. I'm just asking. All these other ethnic groups that's in this country, how many of them really try to build and have honest relations with the black community? I know there's a lot of whites that got a lot of, shit, they got to get out, and a lot of demons and bad history that they got to fucking work with. But that's a them problem. Okay? It ain't our problem. What our problem is, we didn't got so fucking far to the left with shit that we didn't forgot who the hell we are. We didn't forgot how strong we were, how productive and how inventive we are, how creative we are. And we try our best to destroy each other. We try our best to destroy each other. We have by far the most freedom, abilities, and ways of bettering ourselves in 2025 than we did 50 years ago. And we're not taking advantage of it. A lot of us are destroying our communities within our own community. A lot of us are going out of our way to try to desecrate our brothers and sisters' characters, put them on blast, delete each other. And for what? Look up the Great Society program of 1965. Read the Willie Lynch letter of the 1800s. A person that doesn't know their history is condemned to repeat it. Always remember that.
Charlie Kirk, the one I don't want you to know, but the one I will continue to remember and honor with my actions into the future. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully you share, and hopefully you get busy as well, because we all have microphones to pick up, and we are all Charlie Kirk.
Now, one of the things that stands out to me when I started hearing this rumbling from Black people, I was like, okay. I remember Charlie Kirk specifically talking to a Black person at one of the colleges that he was debating at, right? And they was talking about the DEI shit, right? And you know, Charlie Kirk's stance is it's like, no, like I don't think it should be like, you know, separated based on race and all. He was like, no, like everybody should have to reach the same standard. And I agree with him on that. And it's funny because, you know, you have Black people trying to go against that. And he used about the easiest and best reference that you can use that no Black person on the planet can disagree. He said, okay, then what about the NBA? What about the NFL? He was like, those leagues are mostly African American. He was like, so should we do DEI on there also? He was like, no, you want the best players out there. And the best players just so happen to be African American. So you tell me if that sounds like somebody who's racist. No, it just sounds like somebody who does his homework and is actually just sticking to the facts and just telling you the way things are. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know where they get this racist shit from, because just like other people I've been digging. But I can remember some of the debates he had, and this is one in particular that stood out where when I started hearing this, I'm like, nah, that's not the case whatsoever. Along with the fact that I know he was really good friends with Candace Owens. Come on now, just stop it, bro. This is ridiculous. See, this is that brainwash propaganda. You probably saw something that got clipped and they try to make it and they misconstrued it and try to make it appear to look like something that it wasn't. Nah. I ain't following that.
So when I learned about what happened to Charlie Kirk today, it was like a punch in the gut. Because like Charlie, I'm a Christian, I'm a father, I'm a husband. Even though he might not have known it, his movement had a big effect on my life. I've been invited to several of his company Turning Points events over the last several years. And the first time me and my wife went to one of the events, we were blown away because we didn't realize how big the conservative movement was until...
Wait. Y'all say he racist, right? Isn't that what y'all been spewing all online here recently? That he was such a racist? What am I missing here? I mean, that's what y'all said Malcolm was. Even some of the blacks shunned Malcolm X and his wording and how he presented different ideas and things like that. Honestly, let me ask y'all a serious question. What was so different than what Malcolm X was doing opposed to what Charlie Kirk was doing, other than his skin complexion? What was the common denominator in what both of them were doing? Both had a strong spiritual and religious belief, and both were trying to do whatever it took to bring people together, to think, to have a critical and analytical understanding. But because of your emotions and because of what other people and other agendas are out here, y'all shit on it because instead of doing hard work, you'd rather have handouts. Instead of having intellectual conversations, you rather have one-sided arguments. Instead of having love for one another, you want to hold on to hate of past transgressions.
We went to a Turning Point event and we realized how much we're not alone, that there are thousands of people who hold some of the same beliefs that we do, that want the best for our country the same way we do, that want to see God and Christian values be put at the forefront of our country the way we do. This young guy, Charlie Kirk, was at the forefront of this massive movement, this juggernaut of a movement. So when I learned about what happened to him today, it really broke my heart. I thought about his wife, his children, his close friends, all the young people whose lives he's helped and affected. So I started to pray for peace that surpasses all understanding for all of them. I started to pray that the Lord comfort them. And as I was praying for them, I started to get peace about it because I realized what the enemy meant for evil, the Lord will turn around for his good, and the Lord will be glorified through this. He will get the glory. I think that this is going to awaken many Christians to be more bold about their faith, to stand firm on their beliefs and who they are, be proud to represent Christ no matter the cost. See, Charlie Kirk planted a seed in thousands and thousands of the next generation. And now that he's gone, now that they've made a martyr of him, that seed is only going to grow. It's only going to get bigger. So I want to say God bless Charlie's family, all of his loved ones, all of the people who loved him. He was an inspiration to a lot of people. Charlie Kirk was a fearless warrior and he inspired others who are going to make the movement even bigger. As for me, this is going to make me more bold in my faith, make me continue to stand up for the truth and what's right. May God get all the glory.
See, and for me personally, like this whole event and just seeing how people react to it, I think the reason why it bothers me so much is because it's like, damn, like we really have thrown humanity out of the window just for the sake of disagreeing with somebody. Like this shit is ridiculous, bro. There's plenty of content creators on here. There's gonna be plenty of people in the world that I'm not gonna agree with, man. But just because I don't agree with them doesn't necessarily mean that they deserve to get unalive. Like especially like that in front of your family. I'm like, y'all so distasteful. Y'all can't even show any empathy or sympathy for the family that had to witness that.
All up and down my timeline, all I see is Charlie Kirk a racist. He said this about black people. He said that about black people. He this, he that. I don't feel bad. I don't care. I'm gonna mind my business. That ain't got nothing to do with me. The problem that I have with black people is that we don't like to be told when we're wrong. We don't like to be held accountable. We don't like nobody telling us nothing. It don't matter, even if you are black. If you tell another black person right from wrong, they call you judgmental, and
they throw you up under the bus. They don't fuck with you no more. They call you a lame. They call you a punk. They call you all kind of shit. I experienced that in my time, trying to be involved in certain circles, trying to incite and galvanize the minds and try to give different ideas. That was laughed at. And I'll say this until as long as the day is long. I really wanted to get established something to help out with mental health help, because there's a serious problem in our community with mental illness, with mental health. We have a serious problem in our community, man. And a lot of us want to mask it with the alcohol, with the drugs, with the promiscuity, all these things. None of us is perfect in all this. We all can be held to some kind of degree of guilt behind that. But still in all, we need help. And what pains me the most with our people is that you're so quick to jump on the bandwagon of something that's the wave without doing any research, without seeing it for yourself personally. You're so quick to believe what someone's telling you instead of going out and finding out whether or not it's a legitimate thing. Like on my platform, I do not want you to just 100% believe anything that I'm telling you. If I'm giving you something to take with you, to learn, I want you to take it and research it and expand on it and get your own idea and your own mind about it, your own reaction about it. I'm not here to change your way of living. I'm not here to make you feel any different or any certain way in your feelings about anything that you might believe in. I'm not here to change your mindset as far as how you live your life every day. The only thing that I need to do is to keep giving information that can feed us mentally, spiritually, hopefully financially, and give it to someone else. I can't know all information out here and keep it to myself and think I'm the smartest motherfucker in the world, because I'm not. I still got a lot to learn. I still got a lot to understand or overstand. And there's still a lot of things that we need to change out here.
and then they'll use the excuse only God can judge me as to justify their poor behavior. Y'all is the same Negroes that get on here and act a fool, and then you want somebody to have sympathy and empathy for you when you in a situation that you can't get yourself out of, when it's you or your family member in a predicament. But y'all sitting on here happy and celebrating the expiration of this man in public. What kind of, like, y'all are wicked and evil to the core. I don't care what y'all call me, Uncle Tom, Uncle, whatever you want to say. Oh, you just trying to get the validation of the YT people. Like, don't nobody care about that. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Black people, y'all get on my nerves with that. Y'all always want to make everything about racism. Everything is not about race. Some stuff is just common sense and sound advice. Y'all don't want to listen to nobody, though. That's the problem that we have in this community. Y'all think.
Yeah, we do. I'm gonna do a little intermission right now. I'll take care of a couple things. So with that being said, I'm gonna let some interesting music play. So with that being said, hey, check this out. I'll be back in a minute, all right? All right. We are back. About to share this next one. There's some sick shit going on right here, man. There's some teachers that's literally out here showing.
Teacher allegedly shows Charlie Kirk assassination video to 10 and 11-year-olds, told students he deserved.
Yeah, you heard right there. There are literally teachers that's out here in class showing Charlie Kirk's assassination in class and think it's sweet like that. Shout out to Tisha Jazz for putting this out here. So we're gonna react to it. Now here we go.
Deserves to be killed. So this happened in Canada. And a part of me first thought, you know what? That's better than here. But then I immediately corrected myself and said, you know what? This is good for no children. No children should have to go through this. This is terrible.
So this is absolutely insane. A teacher allegedly showed the Charlie Kirk assassination video to 10 and 11-year-olds and told students he deserved to be killed. This apparently happened at an elementary school in Canada. When the teacher was saying that he deserved to be killed, he gave the young students a speech about anti-fascism and transgender issues. Several students from his class went home and complained to their parents, traumatized at witnessing the on-camera death, which they were forced to witness numerous times over. How much of a psychopath do you have to be to think this is okay to share with 10-year-olds?
I'm speechless.
Adults shouldn't even be seeing stuff like that. I still can't get that video out of my head. Every single time I see a picture of Charlie Kirk, that's literally like all I see now. So I can only imagine what's going on in a 10-year-old's brain. Apparently this issue is still being investigated. So that means the teacher is still employed there.
That's
Hopefully
crazy.
that changes, because that is absolutely horrible. Who would want a teacher like this teaching their children?
It's unbelievable, man.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If I ever find out any teacher is exposing my children to that kind of insanity and that kind of traumatic image, me and that teacher going to have some problems. Me and that school going to have some problems. Me and that district going to have some problems. Because I only saw that one time, and I'm in agreement with the man right there talking. I can't help but get that image out of my head. It was very disturbing, and it was very sad. And for people to actually laugh about it, joke about it, go on social media praising the Most High about something like this was totally demonic, man. You are some weirdo motherfuckers. to the 10th power. Seriously. There's a special place in hell for people like y'all that do that kind of shit. Now I know I got some people out here that I don't care too much for, just that and the third. But that's just something I just would never do. Now, what your own beliefs and opinions are amongst yourself in the privacy of your own dwelling or whatever, that's your business. But to put it out on social media for everyone to see, that's a special kind of fucked up.
And what's even more frustrating is that you have people right now who will see videos like this, right? A teacher who sees this and they're like, hey, that's along the lines of my ideology, anti-fascist, far left leaning. And you have people out here claiming that he was not left leaning. It's like a big joke. It's like a big joke that I hope people aren't taking as a joke in their own real lives.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Check out a few of these comments here that people have to say. Top commenter says, once again, Charlie's point is proven. Schools are indoctrinating our children. Oh man, this is definitely one of the top things I've learned from this whole experience is just how much schools are indoctrinating our children. Somebody else added on to this and said, creating more shooters. True. Here's another person that says, absolutely right. Somebody else here says, teacher needs to be fired and brought up on charges. The video was too traumatic for me to show somebody recently, a family member who came to me when they were asking about this whole situation. I told them about it and they said, can I see the video? I said, no. I was like, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that video. And they said, thanks for letting me know. I don't want to see that video. So they didn't see it because once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Here's another gentleman that says, this is infuriating. If I was a parent, I would sue the school systems. Another person who says, it traumatized me. I can't imagine how those poor children feel. Somebody else who says she needs to lose her teaching license. This is absolutely crazy to traumatize these young children. Part of me is wondering if there's an update on this situation here. Okay.
So this.
When in doubt, talk to Miss Coffee. Ms. Coffee, has there been an update to this whole situation with this teacher? It looks like we have an update. Looks like she might have been suspended, actually.
Hey, I checked, and here's what I found so far about updates in the teacher suspension case in Toronto.
All right.
Nothing major has concluded yet, but there are a few new details and confirmed steps. What's new? Confirmed the teacher is still temporarily suspended. They have been removed from all teaching responsibilities, pending the investigation. Global News 2 plus the Economic Times. The teacher was not the regular homeroom teacher of the class, rather, someone supervising. Global News 2 plus Global News 2. The incident happened at Corvette Junior Pub.
The teacher was not the regular homeroom teacher of the class, rather someone supervising. That's even more crazy. You haven't even built a strong relationship with these kids, and you just decide to traumatize them. All right, guys, there's nothing funny about this, but I'm the type of person that when things get bad enough, all I can do is laugh sometimes.
The incident happened at Corvette Junior Public School, Scarborough, Toronto. Grade 5/6 students ages 10 to 11 were shown a portion of a violent video after students asked about a recent tragic event in the United States. Global News 2 plus Global News 2. The school's principal, Jennifer Copty, sent a letter to parents confirming the video was related to Charlie Kirk's death, that the act was disturbing and unacceptable, and that social worker support was being made available to students affected. Global News 2 plus New York Post. What is still unknown, no update yet whether the teacher will face more than suspension, for example, termination. Disciplinary action beyond leave has not been made public yet. The full content of what was said, the extent of the deserve to die commentary, and whether that's been verified in the investigation remains under review. Whether any policy changes have been implemented at the school district level in response, for example, restrictions on what videos can be shown, curriculum oversight has not been reported. No public update yet on formal outcomes, lawsuits, charges, or official findings.
I'm sure more parents will probably be asking their children questions about school more than ever now. Like, what's going on? What did you guys learn? What did they talk about? You know, insane.
Is anybody else deeply bothered by the amount of teachers getting fired for celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Because these are the same people parents are basically forced to hand their kids to over every single day. If a teacher feels comfortable enough to publicly cheer on the murder of a father and husband, what are they saying and teaching behind closed doors? What kind of values are they?
They saying they don't value one man, and they definitely don't value a man that speaks his own mind in the name of Christ and in the name of family, in the name of trying to galvanize and build with other people, regardless of your race, creed, or beliefs. He had plenty of discussions with the transgender community and showed them much respect. If you don't believe it, instead of listening to the narrative of certain media outlets and these raging feminists and these raging weirdos on TikTok, go research them yourself. Because I know a lot of people didn't know nothing about him until last Wednesday. But like Biggie Small said in a song years ago, you're nobody until somebody kills you. Now he's somebody. You can't hear his words anymore from here on out, but he has a body of work that you can still listen to, just like Kevin Samuels and how y'all danced on that man's grave and laughed about him. We living in really serious, sick times for anybody to publicly do what they have done. And it's costing a lot of you guys jobs. So more power to you and fuck you. Yeah. I've heard of him. I just never followed him until after last Wednesday. And all I'm telling you, Turning Point podcast, check him out. Just check him out. Just check him out. If you think he's a racist after really listening to his debates and listening to the things that he said on his podcast on YouTube, then, you know, it is what it is. But have a critical and analytical analysis. Hit the like button on the way in, y'all.
They're pushing on kids who don't know any better. I could not feel better about my decision to homeschool my daughters. Not because it's easy, it isn't, but because when I see stories like this, I know I'm protecting them from being shaped by people who openly celebrate violence against those they disagree with. This isn't about left or right. It's about basic decency. And if the people in charge of classrooms can't even meet that bar, why should they be trusted with the next generation?
The Coffee Pot is backed by FathersHaveRights.com, the ultimate prenup prep guide for men who value marriage in our modern day.
I'm sorry. I'm not here to promote his commercial. Sorry. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Strategy to walk in 10 steps ahead.
Hold on.
Other people are losing their jobs because they made public comments, posts, things like that on social media about the murder of Charlie Kirk. Now, isn't that against the Constitution? Isn't there freedom of speech, right? Well, I am so glad.
I mean, that's because Big Mike, you wasn't listening to the type of fucking drill music that was out. I can totally understand it. I wasn't a fan of his shit. The only reason why I heard a lot of their music of the drill scene is when I was part of the social club world. And this is what these so-called people that was doing community service and supposed to network with other clubs to build relationships and build better communities would party and listen to. I literally had to like numb myself with whatever I was doing to get through nights. I never stayed at any party that I went to in that circle till it was over, unless it was my own club set. Other than that, I get in there by 10 o'clock. I'm leaving out by 12:30. Seriously. Ask anybody that remembers me in that circle. I stayed 2 hours the most. That was enough of that fucking music I had to listen to.
Glad you asked. Let's take a look at the text real quick. My name is Eurip C. Morgan, and I am an attorney. Here's what the text of the First Amendment actually says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. It says more, but for our purposes, this is what's really important. So there it is. You know what the most important part of that is? The first word, Congress. The First Amendment applies to Congress not making certain laws. It does not apply necessarily to your employer. And this is why you're seeing that a lot of people are losing their job. You know, your employer can't actually pay you if they don't make money. And if they have employees that are out here making public, visible posts online that could, I don't know, piss off a good amount of their customer base, we shouldn't be surprised that they let those employees go. And no, that isn't necessarily a violation of freedom of speech, like I said, practically, because the First Amendment specifically is related to Congress, not your employer. And I keep saying necessarily because some employers are government, obviously. But the reality is that I think a lot of people have misunderstood what the First Amendment says and also forgotten that you can still have a public opinion. The people who are getting fired are not being prohibited from making their opinions public. They are, however, being reminded that there are consequences for expressing your opinion publicly. And the First Amendment was never intended to stop people from having consequences for our actions. It was intended to curtail the government. And, you know, it's kind of crazy to me that so many people have forgotten that there really are consequences to what we do. Teachers specifically, right? There have been a number of teachers who have made public statements on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and they're getting fired. That one, I think, is also shouldn't be a huge surprise because you're talking about a profession that literally teaches children. And let's be honest, you know, it's not just math and reading and science. You teach children how to behave, how to function in society, critical thinking skills, judgment. And if my daughter's third grade teacher doesn't have the wherewithal to, or lacks critical thinking, and doesn't have the wherewithal to say that, hey, I feel a certain way about a specific topic, but just because I feel a certain way about something, maybe I don't have to publicly express it. You can still retain your opinion, but you don't have to publicly express it. That is having good judgment. If you've got teachers like who are out here, you know, making these statements and then walking into a classroom, it really does make me worry about, you know, how can you teach kids to think critically if you're not exhibiting the same behavior yourself? So it's not a surprise to me that a lot of people are losing their jobs and that they are facing significant backlash. Again, it's not because you had the opinion necessarily. It's because you expressed it publicly, and
that's the whole fucking point. We don't care about your opinions. We don't care about how you feel about a certain side. This is not what this is about. This is about spewing your personal feelings in public that can affect people and a group of people who are not mentally capable to handle it. And that's our children. Us as adults, we can understand it and get it. We get that some of you motherfuckers, y'all just got y'all weirdo views and shit like that. Just like how some people don't always agree with everything I say. I'm not going to agree with everything you say and this, that, and whatever. But that does not mean that I have to publicly praise your demise, especially if I witnessed it. You motherfuckers ain't shit because y'all don't give a fuck about that man's wife. Let me ask y'all a serious question. In the deletion of Emmett Till, knowing that the wife lied about what Emmett Till did anybody shit on her? She took that guilt to her grave. Y'all think about that for a minute. What her husband and her brother-in-law and whoever else did to Emmett Till back in 1955 in Mississippi. And they knew it was a lie. Well, she somewhat knew. I don't know if the husband knew. After the fact, he probably didn't give a fuck. But knowing the backstory behind it and knowing the truth behind it, knowing that that little boy didn't get justice, did anybody condemn that woman for knowing that truth? Did anyone condemn that man and them men that did what they did to that young boy? Maybe if it was fucking put on camera. You see, and that's the beauty about what happened in the past opposed to what happens now in this modern time. Y'all can see that shit now. And if you don't know about the story of Emmett Till, read up on them. And then ask yourself, how would y'all feel if y'all saw it in real time? Seriously. And see if y'all still will have that same veracity. We got a lot to do out here, y'all. We got a lot of work we got to do. Shout out to all the content creators that gave me the content for the night. The Perseverance, in no effect. Shisha Jed, the Coffee Pod. Average Man Unplugged. You know, clips from Charlie Kirk. This story is not even over. We're gonna probably tackle more about what's going on with the actual so-called assailant. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Like I said, short content will be coming up shortly, but my next live stream will be this Friday, 10 o'clock p.m. Central on the dial. Like, share, and subscribe. If y'all new to the Black Bottom, please hit the like button on the way in. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to a goal. Thanks for all the newer subscribers that tuned in. I haven't checked who's new, but I'm going to check, and I'm going to give y'all shouts out on my next live stream. I'm trying to get to 500 by the end of the year. Hopefully we get there. And yeah, we're gonna end it up right here. I really appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight at the Black Bottom Broadcast. And with that being said, everybody, please hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. Hit it on the replay if you came in late. It was a decent show. I hope everybody got something out of it. And with that being said, I want y'all to live as long as y'all want and never won't as long as y'all live. And with that being said, I am Ross Lee. This is Black Bottom Roscast, and we are gone.
see no changes. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I'm tired of being poor and even worse, I'm black. My stomach hurts, so I'm looking for a purse to snatch. Cops give a damn about a nickel. Pull the trigger, kill a nigga, he's a hero. Give the crack to the kids, who the hell cares? One less hungry mouth on the welfare. First ship them dope and let them be the brothers. Give them guns, step back, watch them kill each other. It's time to fight back, that's what Huey said. 2 shots in the dark, now Huey's dead. I got love for my brother, but we can never go nowhere unless we share with each other. We gotta start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother instead of 2 distant strangers. And that's how it's supposed to be. How can the devil take a brother if he's close to me? I'd love to go back to when we played as kids, but things change, and that's the way it is. Come on, that's just the way it is. Changes, things will never be the same. That's just the way it is, the way it is. Oh yeah, yeah. Hear me, oh my, come on, come on, come on. That's just the way it is, just the way it is, the way it is. Things will never be the same, never be the same, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and that's just the way it is, way it is. Oh yeah, yeah. I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. Misplaced hate makes disgrace to races. I wonder what it takes to make this one better place. Let's erase the waste, take the evil out the people. They'll be acting right, 'cause both black and white are smoking crack tonight. And the only time we chill is when we kill each other. It takes skill to be real, time to heal each other. And although it seems heaven sent, we ain't ready to see a black president. Oh, it ain't a secret, don't conceal the fact. The penitentiary's packed and it's filled with blacks. But some things will never change, Trying to show another way, but you're staying in a dope game. Ooh, now tell me what's some mother to do. Being real don't appeal to the brother in you. Yeah, you gotta operate the easy way. I made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way. Selling crack to the kids, I gotta get paid. Well, hey, well that's the way it is. That's just the way it is. Changes, things will never be the same.